Hello again, Converge fans. We got two figures that I've technically reviewed before, but not really, because they have two different molds. I've done Acguy and Gogg before, but these are different molds or different numbers in the Converge lineup. So I'm going to do them again, and we're going to compare them to the other ones later on. So this is Converge number 38, and the internet is telling me that this is from Wave 6. So this is from 2012. We're talking pretty early in the line of Converges. In the rest of Wave 6, we have those figures there. Focus. There you go. And then there's some stats here on the robot itself. I don't remember anything, so I went back to fandom here. This was developed from this one, the Gogg, it says. And then it has our low heat signature. It shares parts with the Acguy 2, which I think was on this box. So I think I have a Acguy 2 I can pull out as well. Alright, so it's an amphibious assault stealth robot. Oh, this is quite interesting. Yeah, this is really early. Oh, this is used. This is not the original packaging at all. Yeah, it doesn't come like this. The other one, you'll see how they're usually packaged. So it does come with this lame foot stand that you don't need because the thing will stand anyways, right? So that goes in the trash. Let's see, let's just take a look at this arm here. Got a tan shoulder, a dark brown arm, and then forearm, and then the iron nails, as they're called, or I call them claws or knives. Kind of like this image over there. They're in the retracted position on this one, and I think there might be a gun in the middle of these hands. That cylinder there. I can't focus. So, anyways, this is nice detail. These are little grooves and all that stuff. It's not paint. It's actually physically molded, these grooves. So that's kind of neat. But this doesn't spin at all. I know that I think the newer one does. But some groove details, and so it's got a peg that goes into the shoulder. But before we do that, let's just see what we have. We got some details here. Yeah, the corresponding tan and dark brown. Nice details on the feet. You got some propeller details there. It looks pretty nice. This is the hatch, I think, for the pilot to get into. This side has, I think they must be missile launchers. Could be mistaken, though. And then these are supposed to be, I think, rockets or torpedoes, those four things there. You can see the eye, unfortunately, is just pink. It's not even a metallic pink. So it is domed out a little bit. I might add my own jewel bead to that. Yeah, but the gray here look like tracks. The eye's supposed to run around these tracks. It's supposed to be able to go up, down, and around the whole back of it. So I really like these Zeonic designs. Alright, so a tiny little thruster pack, little propeller indication there, and then a bunch of detailed recesses and grooves and crevices that you can add paint washes into, which for an amphibious one I think makes a lot of sense if you had some brown or green or something, right? Because collecting barnacles and algae and all that stuff. Yeah, a lot of cool details. This might actually be better detailed than the first one, but again, we'll find out when I pull out the other ones. So really the only articulation are the hands. I mean the arms, not even the hands. They don't move at all. So that's it. Pretty basic. But it's such a cool design. I like it. Oh boy, that's loose though. Might have to put some poster putty into that joint. Yeah, this one's loose too. Let me reset. Okay, so later on, pleasantly, they tell you what wave it is. This is wave pound 16 from 2019, and it's number 215 in the overall Converge line in the chassis MSM03 Gogg. And so fandom again, just pulling up these images here. This was in the original cartoon, Mobile Suit Gundam, and it's an amphibious robot there. Alright, so here's some stats on the box, and then what else is in this wave. There you go. Alright. So this is how they're supposed to be packaged, in this like heat sealed bag. Here's some gum from this year. It's turning a little green. Yeah, that's getting nasty. Alright, so I gotta get some scissors then. And then pleasantly, these pound in newer ones, they have a logical foot stand. It's a peg stand. I guess we'll start with the arms. So it's interesting, the actual peg for the arm to go into the body, I think it's a different piece of plastic. I think it's rigid plastic. I don't think it's PVC. In fact, this feels rigid. This whole hand might be hard plastic and not soft PVC. I feel no flex whatsoever in this thing. Still, it has nice details. Maybe they did this because the fingers or claws are so thin that, you know, if PVC, they would have to be thicker and they might look goofier. And they'd also be really warped probably if they're PVC. But hard plastic, you know, tighter details and it'll keep it shaped better. But if this falls off a shelf, it's going to break off for sure. Which happened to my other one actually. Alright, so look at the head of this one. This now has a metallic pink eye. So I think that's a big improvement over the just plain pink eye, right? It's a smaller one though. I think this headpiece might come off. Because I have a feeling you can move that eye around. It's definitely a different piece, but I don't know. It might be glued in place. I can't seem to wiggle it out. The question then is, can I move this? Oh wow, I think I actually popped it out of the thing. Yeah, it actually popped loose. Let me try to... It might be just sticky paint. I think that was it. Sticky paint. Okay, hold on. Just get it there. There we go. So... Alright, I think, well, I don't know if you can move it. It looks like it's a separate piece, but I don't know. No, it just wants to move the actual pin of the eye out. So you might want to glue this eye in place, actually. I think it's a little loose. See? Let's just take a look at how deep the pin is. Yeah, actually it's kind of trapped. It's trapped by the collar or whatever this brown part is. Whatever you'd call this. So maybe it won't be an issue. Anyways, I'm not going to mess around with that. I'm assuming this will rotate though if you're willing to deal with breaking the paint loose. But for the sake of the video, I'm not going to bother. We got some nice details on the top of the thruster pack there. A little, I don't know, I think they're like propellers or underwater thrusters. Then we have a peg on the shoulder. And they have some nice details actually behind it. Alright, and there's a hexagonal hole, so that one's pretty good. And then we have these mega particle guns, I think they are. And the nice details, we got some ribbing down in there. The yellow in the middle. Very cool. Black kneecaps, some grooves. The legs don't move at all. Nice propeller details down here. There's the peg hole for the stand. On the back, oh, well, actually down here we got 3 little thrusters, it looks like, but they're just brown. Yeah, nice molded panel lines and all that stuff. So, yeah, typical Converge stuff there. I think it looks pretty good. So now let's get this peg up in the shoulder piece. Ooh, that's a tight fit. So yeah, you can articulate that, go all the way around or whatnot. Decent enough posing, I guess. And then, wow, the hand and the finger literally touches the ground in that position, so it's a little above the ground though in this position. Let me put it on the stand and you'll see better. I do find that some of these pegs are not long enough. Seems alright there. See how close that finger is to the ground? It's crazy. Anyways, since I don't trust the one peg, I usually put poster putty on the other foot, and then I feel much more confident that it won't fall off. I very often just pick these up like this. I don't pick them up by the stand, and I keep the stand so I can name them. In fact, let me get some other figures out. Alright, before we get these spinning, we might as well compare to the other variations. So Acguy, this is a later one, number 271 in the overall lineup. And I did add some jewel beads to the jet thrusters there, so that's not standard. And I added black paint wash to a lot of the vents and all that stuff, so that's why it might look a little nicer, like a red Sharpie in those holes. The main thing though is this came with different hands, or whatever you'd want to call these, right? It came with a closed claw, in this case the open claw, right? So that's a big difference. And then this, oddly, the missiles on this one are much lamer. They're just round, where this one has like groove details. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure this came with a separate piece. I know it can rotate, but maybe it didn't. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember all my reviews. I've done too many. Let's see what else is different. This has a metallic, more of a red eye than a pink eye. Much bigger, pronounced missiles on the top of its head than this one. But this one has more grooves on the top of its head than this one. This one's head itself seems larger. Yeah, it's a slightly taller figure, I think, the one on the left side. But I think like the overall groove details might actually be better on this older version. Look at the feet, right? How many grooves are on the feet? This one is just a plain dome. It's interesting. Yeah, there's more detail on the feet of this old one than this newer one. I've actually noticed this before on a GM. They went back and made the newer one look more cartoony, like this. You know, plainer. Like this is a plain cartoon. This is from the actual cartoon show. So they put out the original ones like to be highly detailed, so people like, ooh, cool details. And then for them to make money again, they went back and made it dumber looking, like the cartoon. So that's quite interesting that they would do that. And that's fine by me. You know, I like both variations. I like, you know, high detail, and this one actually has the open claw, and I'm okay with the lamer appearance as long as I have the high detail one as well. So that's quite interesting indeed. Alright, let's just leave those there if you want to look back there. Big difference in height. Okay, Gogg. This is an old version, Gogg 44, so this might be higher detail than the next one, but let's see. I will say though, this one also, I did drop this one, and this fingertip broke off. So this one also, I think, oh no, two fingertips broke off. You can see a little break there, hopefully. Yeah, well, anyways, you have to take my word for it. Those fingertips broke off, so be very careful about this model. You know, you don't want it to fall down. Now in this one, I definitely added a lot of paint apps, so it doesn't look like this usually. I added all these yellow bits, the brown bits, all the brown and the paint wash into the thruster and all that stuff, the black up here and underneath here. So it looks better than it did originally. I also added this yellow domed jewel bead, mermaid bead. Alright, so now let's pull out this one. Let's get the arm in the same orientation. I almost feel like the hands might be identical. Yeah, I think the hands are totally identical, the hand and the arm molding. So I can confirm that if you drop either of these, the fingers are going to break off because it's rigid plastic. It's not PVC. It's not a flexible material. Okay, you know, the torsos look identical. I think they're identical torsos. The legs, I think this is a completely identical mold. I don't think there's any difference. Oh, that's kind of weak. So, I was hoping there'd be a difference, but I don't see any. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks like a completely identical casting. It's just that I added some paint to this one, so it looks a little bit different. Huh. Well, so that's unfortunate. I very often seem to get duplicates, you know. Alright, well, now we know. These are the same, so I might as well remove this. I'll remove that as well. Let's get these guys spinning, and I'll show you a couple other mobile suits that are aquatic or related to this. So this is a ladder mobile suit, an amphibious mobile suit called the Zgok, Z apostrophe G-O-K, and this is an early one, number 18 in the overall lineup. I haven't detailed this one at all. This is the way it came, and so I have it mounted there. I like this design the most, for sure. And here's a Acguy 2, and I think the engines from this went into one of these robots, according to fandom. But it's not amphibious. This is not more of a land terrestrial mobile suit. Let's get a different angle here. Alright. Well, I'm happy I got this one. This is just a duplicate, so I'm let down on that. Maybe I'll sell it off on eBay or something. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next Converge vid.